Good evening and thanks so much for joining us on your Tuesday. I'm Sophie Erber. First responders today searched the Missouri River near downtown Sioux City. This after reports of someone falling from the train bridge into the water there. The latest now from officials in our top story at 5. The incident happened just after noon. Fire officials say a man wearing a white t-shirt and jeans was seen walking on that train bridge. He was then seen climbing off the bridge near the Iowa side and jumping into the Missouri River. It's now unclear if he fell or jumped. Sioux City Fire Rescue had boats in the water, people on the shore, and a drone team in the sky to aid in this search. It's still unknown if that man was able to escape the water. A pair of tennis shoes were recovered. We will, of course, bring you the latest updates throughout the night as they become available at SiouxlandProud.com. A Sioux City man has been arrested for his role in a multi-vehicle crash. That crash shut down part of Interstate 29 and caused severe injuries. It happened on Friday night, closed down a portion of I-29 northbound. 22-year-old Eduardo Guerrero Sanchez is now charged with operating while under the influence and 2 counts of causing serious injury by vehicle. According to court documents, he was driving in the wrong lane. He then collided head-on with a woman and her daughter in a vehicle. That woman suffered broken ribs. Her daughter shattered her femur, broke her back, and had some severed veins and tendons. Another vehicle was then rear-ended in the accident. Injuries included lacerations and a shattered ankle. Now, Guerrero Sanchez suffered from cuts on his own arms and a fractured neck. Tonight, his bond has been set at $100,000. And a judge has set $1 million bail for a South Dakota man facing murder charges. Richard Melvin Schmitz is charged with second-degree murder. This for the 2013 death of Meshel Will, a Custer, South Dakota woman. Will was last seen alive in August of 2013. Her body was found in the Black Hills, but a week after she went missing. The judge also explained the high bail, citing Schmidt's extensive criminal history. And the trial for a Sioux City man charged with murder began today with the jury selection process. 36-year-old Roderick Banks is charged with first-degree murder. This is for the death of Solomon Blackbird, also from Sioux City. Blackbird was fatally shot outside the Park Place Apartments. This was back in November of 2020. Banks was later arrested on February 8th in Alabama and then extradited back to Sioux City. He has since pled not guilty in the case. As COVID-19 cases across the nation rise, the Winnebago tribe is taking their own steps to ensure the safety in their community. Effective now, the tribe announced that they are reinstating mask mandates for all indoor public buildings. This is in response to the rising case numbers around the world, and they're seeing the same on the reservation. The United States has averaged 35,000 new cases a day for the past week. The reservation has 12 active cases today, causing concern for Winnebago public health.
I think we need to just continue to, gather that data and really look at, how this affects us. And, as I said, we're a small community, but we also have a lot of health disparities. And so, with COVID, obviously, we've seen that nationally, that it really affected, Native Americans.
KCAU 9's Jason Toktagian tells us what else health officials have to say about this rising case numbers. That's coming up tonight at 6. Talks in Washington, D.C. over an infrastructure package have been stalled, we know, for months over one issue: how much money the government should be spending on that project. Our Washington correspondent Alexandra Limon reports on why Democrats want a civilian climate corps.
80 Democrats are calling for the creation of a civilian climate corps to stimulate the economy and tackle things like clean energy projects, coastal restoration, and wildfire prevention.
To confront the climate crisis and create millions of permanent, good-paying union jobs.
Senate Democratic leaders Chuck Schumer and Ron Wyden say they'll ensure the infrastructure package includes funding for the project.
We are going to have a broad berth in that budget resolution for a civilian climate corps, period, full stop.
Democrats say the country's worsening heat waves, wildfires, hurricanes, and storms show the need for urgent action.
This summer represents a tipping point. We can no longer deny the consequences of climate change.
But Republican Senate leader Mitch McConnell says Democrats already pumped too much money into the economy.
Another multi-trillion-dollar reckless taxing and spending spree, believe me, is the last thing American families need.
McConnell says overspending by the government is creating an inflation problem and a labor shortage.
But apparently, according to President Biden himself, the solution is, listen to this, even more of the same.
Republicans want the infrastructure package to be narrowly targeted and exclude expensive initiatives aimed at fighting climate change.
In Washington, Alexandra Limon, KCAU 9 News.
Time now to turn our attention to the weather department. Chief Meteorologist Scott Larson standing by. And Scott, something you said caught my attention in your forecast first, saying that it might feel like temperatures are in the triple digits soon. We're marching towards that today.
That's right. It was certainly pretty warm out there today, Sophie, and it looks like it's only going to get hotter here over the next few days. High temperatures this afternoon. You can see that those range between 80 and 90 degrees outside, with 88 in Omaha, 86 Sioux City, 84 in Yankton, and 85 today in Spencer. Tonight we'll see lows descend into the 60s across the area and perhaps some patchy fog. As we move through the next several days here, you can see that we're going to have a spike in temperatures, and that feels like temperature on Friday, with that feels like temperature, the heat index zooming past 100 degrees in Sioux City. We'll talk about a slight chance of some thunderstorms happening this weekend too. It's all in the 9 on 9 forecast coming up. Sophie?
Thanks, Scott. And that rise in temperatures just in time for one of the largest bike races. RAGBRAI kicks off in Lamar's in just a few days, and the city is now preparing for all of those biking festivities. Painted bikes can be found throughout the town now, as well as signs welcoming all those riders and spectators. The city will have its downtown cleanup day tomorrow to tidy up the streets for visitors. The first day is 83 miles of biking. Of course, that starts in Lamar's and it ends in Sac City. U.S. highway safety regulators tonight have opened up an investigation into about 500,000 semis with brakes that can catch fire. There have been so far 11 complaints, 7 reports of fires, but no injuries. The problems did occur mostly on Kenworth and Peterbilt semis. The investigation tonight is focusing on models that were made from 2015 through 2020. The probe covers certain Haldex Gold Seal brake chambers. Those brakes can drag and eventually cause a fire. An investigation could be leading to a recall. A devastating story out of the state of New York today, where a home explosion has left a 92-year-old woman dead. That home completely destroyed. A fire was burning from the foundation of the home when crews arrived on scene, and fire officials say 7 other surrounding homes were damaged in this incident. One woman says the noise was like nothing she's heard before.
I woke up to the house shaking. It was a boom. Like the whole house, it woke me up. And there was no house left. There was still fire coming up from the ground. There was firemen and everyone trying to put it out. Someone's life was everywhere in the street.
It's not yet clear what caused this explosion, but the investigation into it is expected to take at least several days. The nation's largest drug distributors are set to pay up big to settle claims that helped fuel the nation's opioid epidemic. ABC's Morgan Norwood has the very latest.
After years of litigation and outrage from state and local prosecutors and thousands of suffering families during the opioid crisis, the nation's top drug distributor set to pay up big. An announcement expected this week as McKesson, Cardinal Health, AmerisourceBergen, along with Johnson & Johnson, finalized plans to pay a combined $26 billion to settle claims from dozens of state and local governments that they helped fuel the nation's opioid epidemic.
It's critical to hold the people accountable who have done this.
This deal on the heels of another major agreement announced Tuesday between New York and the 3 big drug distributors, McKesson, Cardinal Health, and AmerisourceBergen. That settlement generating more than $1 billion for treatment, recovery, and prevention programs in the Empire State.
These dollars are going to help lift that burden off of taxpayers.
The flurry of payouts comes as Purdue Pharma, the maker of OxyContin, exiting Chapter 11 bankruptcy as part of its effort to settle cases. The company's owners, the Sackler family, proposing a new brand to help combat the opioid crisis.
At some point, it would be appropriate for members of the Sackler family to acknowledge the wrongdoing and the harm.
The proposed bankruptcy reorganization plan does not require the Sacklers to admit fault, and the family has long denied any wrongdoing.
And according to the CDC tonight, opioid overdose deaths have claimed more than 500,000 lives since 1999.
week, and the rain chances likely to disappear. We've also had some wildfires in the western United States and up in Canada. You can see the great picture that came to us from Morningside in Sioux City of a red sunset there. That's one of those effects that you see from having that upper level smoke. If you have a picture that you want to share, go to SiouxlandProud.com and send us your pictures.
Pretty neat shot. Thanks for that one, Scott. And a university is serving up a new course where professors are the students and are bellying up to the bar. How the art of brewing is being passed down coming up in about 7 minutes. But first, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos has been to space. It's official, accompanied by the oldest and youngest people to do the same thing. What they say about their groundbreaking journey next. Welcome back. A big day for the new space tourism industry as Blue Origin celebrates its first launch with passengers and no pilots. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez reports on their trip to space and back again.
2, 1.
Launching into space and history.
On our way to space with our first human crew.
Blue Origin's New Shepard rocket with Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and 3 other passengers inside that capsule at the top, traveling at more than 3 times the speed of reaching space in just 3 minutes.
Max Q is confirmed. Beautiful burn on that BE-3 engine.
The capsule separating, leaving Bezos, his brother Mark, 82-year-old aviation pioneer Wally Funk, and 18-year-old paying passenger Oliver Damon with a few minutes of weightlessness to take in the view.
Oh, I love it.
Here, catch.
And even play catch before returning to Earth. The booster landing first, followed by the passenger's capsule, parachuting safely to the ground. For Bezos, mission accomplished.
What we're doing is the first step of something big.
And for Funk, who first trained to travel to space in the 60s and didn't get to go until now, a long-awaited dream come true.
It was wonderful. I want to go again fast.
Pretty neat. Well, they are scientists in a laboratory, a beer lab that is. How these college students are brewing up a batch of their own beer next. Louisiana college students have a new course option. They can learn to brew beer all while earning college credits too. Bill Wood has their story.
Right off the cone of this guy at the end.
Okay.
With a little help, he hops into motion, about to brew a batch of his very own beer.
Pump it with some oxygen at first to get that yeast real healthy.
Mike Giusti is the man behind the booze. His barrel-aged advisor is Eric Jensen. These guys are scientists in the laboratory at Parlow Beer Lab.
So right now we're sparging. As you know, we have about 600.
For Mike, making beer is a part-time passion, but not a full-time job.
In real life, you're not a bartender on Bourbon Street.
I'm a newspaper guy. I started as a print journalist down in Daytona Beach, but now I'm the journalism department chairman at Loyola.
His highly educated beverage is such a satisfying sip of suds, it got Mike first place out of 100 in a New Orleans beer contest. As the winner, his home brew now gets a shot at the big time. 11 barrels, close to 3,000 cans.
Whatever we said it. So.
Pushing the journalism professor to deliver even more breaking news with the kind of headline he could write himself.
Read all about it. A new kind of class on tap at Loyola.
At the beginning of the class, students make their own beer, and at the end of the class, they drink it.
Scholarly students can now sign up to study the ancient art of beer making in a 3-credit college class. But before you get too tipsy, the course includes 2 quizzes, 3 papers, and a final exam. But don't bury the lead. Free samples will be served.
Well, yeah, I'd say it tastes like an A.
Oh, I'd say it's like an A+, for sure.
Endless journalism puns there. You're welcome. Taking a live look outside now from the Ho Chunk Center in downtown Sioux City. Scott returns with one more check on your forecast. Stay with us. Before we wrap up here at 5, let's check in first with Tim for what's coming up at 6. Hi, Tim.
Hey, good Tuesday afternoon, Sophie. Folks that were near downtown this afternoon may have noticed a high presence of rescue personnel. We'll let you know about a river search that's going on earlier this afternoon coming up at 6. Also tonight, a New York Times COVID tracker shows that Iowa cases are up 58% compared to just 2 weeks ago, with nearly 200 Iowans now hospitalized with the virus. Meanwhile, leaders of a local reservation are taking steps to ensure their community stays safe. We'll tell you tell you about all of that coming up. And friends and family of a South Dakota veteran honor him with a Veterans Last Patrol. It's a way to let veterans know that they are appreciated and not alone. That veteran's reaction coming up after World News tonight. That's when Jake and I will join the two of you in studio. We'll see you then.
All right. Thanks so much, Tim. Pretty awesome. And great forecast if you're into summer weather, Scott.
Sure is. Yeah, we should look forward to some hotter conditions coming our way this week. A chance of some fog happening tonight. As we go through the next few days here, it looks like we'll be able to graduate highs up into the 90s. Friday, definitely a hot one. Small chance of some storms on Saturday. Otherwise, staying dry.
All right. Thanks so much, Scott. Thank you for joining us. We'll all see you back here tonight at 6. Until then, have a great night.